Comparing mountain towns when shopping for luxury property in the state of Colorado is exceptionally common. It makes a ton of sense. If you're spending the kind of money that is required to buy a multi-generational asset, you should know exactly where your money goes the farthest and what lifestyle that you're going to enjoy the most with your kids and grandkids. This video is going to demonstrate what $10 to $12 million buys you in the Aspen, Vail, and Telluride regions. I'm going to be using real listings in all three towns and cross-compare them with the elements that define value in the eyes of the luxury buyer. These include views, walkability, access to recreation. You're going to want to stick around till the end where we talk about the ease of arrival. What does it take to get from these major cities where the majority of the buyer profile lives all the way into your ski home? Remember, the ease of arrival cuts both ways. If it's easier to get to, that means more people are going. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, since I'm filming this midwinter, I'm going to focus on location in relation to skiing. Now, we're going to start at the top and work our way down, and that means Aspen, Colorado, which is by far and large the most expensive ski resort in the state. I've selected this particular condo simply because of its relationship to the base of Aspen Mountain. Now, Aspen does have 4 ski mountains, all of which can be accessed via the bus, but one of the core driving value factors when we're talking about real estate in a ski town is its access to skiing. So here we are at the base of Aspen Mountain, and we're going to look at a townhouse. As you can see, this townhouse was built in the early 70s. Now, this isn't all that uncommon across ski areas. More often than not, the best lots were some of the earliest lots to be built on. So it makes sense that you would have an older home placed in the A++ location. Here we have a 4-bed, 5-bath, 2,700 square foot home for $10,850,000. Scrolling through the photos, you'll automatically notice that there is a good level of finish, a filtered view corridor, but nothing overly dramatic, an open living concept with a nice easy flow from kitchen, living, and dining room, and really the standout is its location. The quality seems to me to be slightly under that luxury appeal that so many buyers in the $11 million price range are going to be looking for. At this sub $11 million price point, we're looking at a price per foot of just under $4,000 per foot. Now to rank the views, walkability, and access to recreation. After living in Colorado my entire life, I'm going to go ahead and give these views a solid 5. Further down in the conversation, you'll see why. You do have a nice, lush, quiet atmosphere with rolling hills full of trees, but there's nothing striking and dramatic about what you see outside of the window. It's also important to notice when you're looking at the photos that there aren't a ton of photos of the exterior. That alone says a lot. Walkability for this house, I'm going to have to give it a 10. 10 out of 10, you can get to anything in Aspen, whether it's the downtown shopping and dining scene, the river trail. Everything is at your fingertips from this particular location. And your access to recreation. You're maybe 60 seconds to 2 minutes walk from fantastic skiing. You are quite a ways away from some of the other ski hills like Highlands, Buttermilk, or Ajax, but setting that aspect aside, those are just icing on the cake. You have great ski access right out your front door. Jumping over to Vail, it's quite a bit harder to find anything that is a single-family residence that actually has ski-in, ski-out effect. In fact, I'd say Aspen and Vail lack in that department. For ease, I have again focused on ski access and came across this property that's under construction at the base of Chair 20. According to the description, you're about 7-minute walk to skiing, and I gotta hand it to them. these are going to be beautiful. They are still townhouse style, but you do have good ski access. With 6 beds and 8 baths spanning almost over 5,500 square feet, you have a really compelling value proposition here. $1,960 per square foot for brand new construction in a pretty darn good ski access location. I will say that that's hard to beat in any world-renowned ski town. And with all that said, Vail is kind of an interesting location of itself. You have a very, very popular highway that runs right through the center of the valley, making a lot of noise. And this location, although it might have really easy access to that ski terrain, it has hard access to some of the other major amenities like shopping and restaurants. For views, I'm going to go ahead and rate this as a 5 again. Walkability, probably similar to that 5. It appears that you'd be at least a few minute drive away from the hub of the Vail Valley. And finally, your access to recreation, we're going to go ahead and give that a solid 7. A 7-minute walk with ski boots maybe becomes 10, and you have a fantastic ski resort with back bowls and very easy access to a lot of the other hiking trails, river trail, and just overall enjoyment, fun with the family. Now I'll try and curb my enthusiasm as we jump into Telluride. Being a lifelong local, I got the pleasure of spending time in all of these major ski towns, so I have a decent sense of what they each offer and their unique qualities. But there's a reason I picked Telluride, and we're gonna go ahead and save all of those reasons for another video and jump right in. There's nothing quite like living on San Joaquin or Benchmark Drive. Here there's a lot of optionality for true ski in, ski out, both single family residences as well as condos. This home on San Joaquin is 5,707 square feet, priced at $10,950,000. That comes out to $1,918 a square foot. You have 6 beds, 5 baths. It's a 1993 build, which again isn't all that uncommon for A+ ski access. To keep our ranking system in order, the views just do not get any better than in Telluride, Colorado. I'm giving this an absolute 10. When we're talking about rugged landscapes, national park-like setting, it almost feels unfair that you can own property privately in this valley. Walkability, this is where this particular home gets dinged. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 3 out of 10 because you have 2 options. You either drive or you use the free shuttle system called Telluride that will take you anywhere within the Mountain Village municipality. From there, you have the option to take the gondola into Telluride for all of those shopping and dining experiences. Access to recreation, I don't think you can really compare with the other 2 that are in either Aspen or Vail because you could army crawl to the ski resort without breaking a sweat. A+ ski access with nice level skiing in as well as level skiing out. It doesn't get much better than living slopeside. And finally, to wrap this up, we're going to talk about the ease of arrival. Now, ease of arrival, especially when we're considering coming in from places like Dallas, Chicago, Miami, California, you want ease, but do you want it to be too easy? Too easy means that anybody can get there and you get a blown out feel where your time is overrun by waiting in ski lines and competing to get into your favorite restaurant. So here are the flight maps. Now, Aspen unequivocally has the best flight access as well as the easiest time to get from the airport to the base of the ski resort, being Aspen Mountain. They're a simple 3 miles away and it's a 10-minute drive. Doesn't get any easier than that. Aspen is naturally insulated from getting overcrowded just simply because of how expensive it is to spend time there. However, the valley is also pretty vast, and it is easier to get there and to stay in surrounding areas that might not cost quite as much. You have 10 major airports and multiple airline providers that service flights directly to the Aspen airport. Doesn't get much easier than that. We'll go with a 10. Getting to Vail is slightly trickier, but it's not the flights that you need to worry about. When you do fly in, you're about a 40-minute drive or shuttle away from the Eagle County Regional Airport to the Vail Valley. There are, however, 13 direct flight paths that go straight to the Eagle County Regional Airport, which makes it slightly easier for the majority of the country. However, it's not the flights that you have to worry about when it comes to visiting and skiing in Vail. It's the driving. You're 100 miles away from Denver Metro, and that is the biggest problem and leads to the most crowds. Getting to Vail might be easy, but enjoying Vail can be hard, just purely due to how accessible it is. And finally, getting to Telluride, which is hard. Arriving in Telluride, even with a direct flight, is challenging because although you have 11 airports that service into Montrose, you're still at least an hour to an hour and 15-minute drive from the Montrose Regional Airport into the downtown. This can be very disappointing for some. Even if you're lucky enough to have direct service from your home, you still have to either rent a car, purchase a shuttle, or leave a car at the airport and then get yourself into the downtown. Now, this inconvenience cuts both ways. Your arrival to Telluride might be hard, but your enjoyment when you get here is an absolute breeze. No ski lines, and very few times throughout the year does it feel overcrowded. And depending on what you're coming for, you'll know if you can expect this town to feel like the tiniest city that you've ever loved, or if it's going to be more of a serene, laid-back feel, and that's purely dependent on whether you're joining during a festival weekend or a major holiday like Christmas, New Year's, or spring break. If you want a broader stroke to compare these three fantastic towns, down in the description you can find a market report that is broken down by county. You'll want to look at Pitkin County, Eagle County, and the San Miguel County in Colorado, and you can really hone in on where your money goes the farthest. While you're down there, please hit the like and subscribe button, and we want to know your personal comparison if you visited 2 or maybe all 3 of these towns. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, and your honest opinion. If you want to have a curated conversation around these 3 areas, you can find our contact information down below.